back-to-back 100 points. With only 2 game weeks left to go, let's take a look at how my team performed and my transfer thoughts for Game Week 37. After a successful Game Week 35, ahead of Game Week 36, I made a single transfer and exchanged Eriksen for Mane. For Game Week 36, I got a whopping 117 points, my second consecutive 100 plus points, improving my ranking by another 100,000 places. So there's still a glimpse of hope. I might just finish below the 150k mark. In the My FPL Strategy League, my position has too improved. Shout out to Show Me More Mane, who is now the new league leader. Now let's take a look at how my team performed and my transfer thoughts for Game Week 37. Brighton edged towards the Premier League survival in a 1-1 draw against Newcastle. The Seagulls are now 4 points clear of the relegation spot. Matthew Ryan had a relatively quiet game. In fact, didn't manage to record a single save. In all fairness, there was nothing he could have done to stop Perez's opening goal. In the end, the Australian only returned 2 points per match appearance. Brighton's remaining 2 fixtures are tough on paper. They travel to the Emirates Stadium next to face Arsenal, before welcoming Man City. With Arsenal challenging for the top 4 and City challenging for the Premier League title, it's extremely unlikely Ryan will feature in my starting 11. Liverpool maintains the pressure with the Premier League title with a convincing 5-0 victory over Huddersfield. Man, I love this kid. Robertson once again had an excellent display, producing 2 assists. His overall performance earned him 2 additional bonus points, returning a solid 14 points. Liverpool's last 2 fixtures in a away match against Newcastle before they welcome Wolves at home. The Reds have kept the most clean sheets so far this season, and Robertson has featured in my team since Game Week 1, so undoubtedly he will remain in my squad to the very end. City recorded the 19th clean sheet of the season, beating Burnley 1-0. Double Game Week legend Laporte had another fantastic game, banking another clean sheet and recording maximum bonus points. Man City welcome Leicester City next, before they travel to face Brighton in the final game of the season. City have now kept 3 consecutive clean sheets against Spurs, Man United and Burnley. Duffy almost delivers in a tight affair against Newcastle. Despite the single goal conceded, Shane Duffy had a convincing game, was strong in the air as usual and was maybe unlucky not to level the score. With Duffy's next 2 fixtures against Arsenal and Man City, I'm contemplating exchanging the Irish centre-back with a United defender. Mane bags a brace in a comfortable 5-0 win against the Terrys. The Senegalese had a brilliant display and was perhaps unfortunate not to come away with a hat-trick, hitting the post in the second half. Arguably unlucky not to be awarded any bonus points, but nevertheless the informed midfielder returned a welcome 13 points. Mane is up against Newcastle next. In the last meeting between the 2 clubs, Liverpool beat the Magpies by 4 goals with no reply. The Saints secured their Premier League status in a 6-goal thriller against Bournemouth. My differential pick Ward-Prowse delivers once again, scoring Southampton's second. The midfielder had 2 attempts on goal with 4 attempted assists. His overall display earned him 2 additional bonus points, returning a solid 9 points. The Saints travel to the London Stadium to face West Ham next, an average fixture on paper. However, in the last 2 encounters, Southampton have lost both fixtures against the Hammers. Salah leads the race for the Premier League Golden Boots, scoring 2 goals against Huddersfield. The Egyptian looked very sharp against the Terrys, on it from the very first minute, recording an assist within 20 seconds, and got his name on the score sheet just before the break, before tapping Liverpool's 5th 5 minutes from time. Salah's up against Newcastle next. In the last 2 meetings, Salah has scored a total of 2 goals. Spurs suffered their first defeat at the new stadium, losing to a single goal against West Ham. With Son suspended in the Champions League, it was no surprise to see Son in the starting lineup. Admittedly, I had big expectations for Son, but his display against the Hammers was a bit underwhelming, only returning 2 points per match appearance. Spurs' next fixture is an away match against Bournemouth. Despite Son's recent dip in form, the midfielder does like to score goals against the Cherries, scoring 4 goals in the last 2 meetings. Jota fired Wolves to victory against Watford in the race for 7th spot. Jota has now recorded 9 goals, 7 assists in the last 18 appearances. In the game against Watford, the Portuguese recorded more shots and penalty box touches than anyone on show. His overall display earned him all 3 additional bonus points, returning a whopping 12 points. Wolves welcome Fulham next. Jota is the most brought in player ahead of Gameweek 37, so his position in my squad remains firmly intact. Jimenez ends the 4-game blank streak, scoring the opener in a 2-1 victory. Jimenez recorded his 70th goal of the campaign, 13th in the Premier League, making the Mexican's Wolves record Premier League goal scorer in a single season. Jimenez's last 2 fixtures are a home match against Fulham, followed by an away match against Liverpool. My plan is to keep hold of Jimenez for Gameweek 37, but potentially exchange the Mexican in Gameweek 38. City move ahead of Liverpool, overcoming a tough battle against Burnley. In all honesty, Aguero didn't have the best of games, but when it mattered, the striker came up with the vital goal. Despite being subbed with 10 minutes to spare, the striker's performance was good enough to secure all 3 additional bonus points. Aguero's next fixture is a home match against Leicester City. The Argentinian has had more goals at home than any other forward this season, whilst Leicester City has failed to keep a clean sheet on the road since Gameweek 21. Thus undoubtedly the City striker will be at the forefront for captaincy for Gameweek 37. So moving on to my transfer thoughts for Gameweek 37. As things stands, I'm pretty satisfied with my current squad. The only fixture that concerns me in Gameweek 37 is United match against Huddersfield. At the moment, I don't have any United players, so I think my next move is to at least bring in one. So I'm currently contemplating 2 options. Option 1 would be to exchange Duffy to Luke Shaw. United remaining fixtures are very pleasant on paper, and I would hope United could at least keep 1 clean sheet. Plus, not only did Luke Shaw deliver attacking returns against Chelsea, the English left back will only cost me 5 mil. Or the second option would be to exchange Son for Pogba. Huddersfield have conceded 15 goals in the last 4 game weeks, conceding 5 against Liverpool, 2 against Watford, 4 against Spurs, and 4 against Leicester City. Thus on paper, it feels wise to bring in a United attacking player. However, is it worth losing Son, especially the game against Bournemouth? Or maybe I should just be bullish and take a -4 and make both transfers. But for now, I'm leaning towards option 1. And if I do decide to go with option 1, I'm likely to play a 4-4-2 formation, with Foster replacing Ryan in goal, and Ward-Prowse on the bench. For captaincy, it's a toss between Aguero at home or informed Salah against Newcastle. Please note my team selection is not locked in. Thus, if you'd like to see my final team selection, be sure to follow me on Twitter. All my details in the description below. And that's all from me today, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.